Do you remember that show Once Upon a Time? The one where all the characters knew something was wrong, something was off. They had lives, they had jobs, they had families, but something wasn't right. It wasn't the life they were supposed to be living, and they couldn't put their finger on why they knew that. Do you ever feel that way? I know I do. And it took kind of an awakening for them to figure out what was wrong. They had to step out of what seemed like normal life in order to find their true place in the world. And that their true place in life was something else entirely. Now, I'm not suggesting that any of us are fairy tale characters, but I do think there is a very clear parallel for the modern world. Do you ever feel like the life you live is not the life you were meant for? I think we all do. So where does that get us? We end up we're stressed out, we're anxious, we're running from here to there just to stay up with everything that we have to do, just to keep up. And at some point, you have to ask yourself, why? Why do we do all this? The hardest part is when you wonder what's it all for. The thing is, I stopped doing it. I traded my overcommitted schedule for a little sanity, courtesy of nature. Now, I realize that may not be as easy as it sounds. It's simple, but it's not always easy. So let me start there. Just so you know, I'm not talking about the headlines where, doctors prescribe 20 minutes in nature to heal this and that. That's always good. The benefits are there. If you need to spend some time in nature to get healing, do so. But I'm talking about something much deeper. This goes beyond just a walk in the woods. What I'm talking about is healing. Healing that brings us back to our purpose, to our sense of self, to let us be ourself, who we would be naturally, in nature. So I'm Lisa, and I'm trying to build the world that I want to live in, a world centered on unity with nature, where we respect, where we honor, where we take care of nature, and where we, thank her for taking care of us too. So I suspect since you're here, you want to build that world too. So let's do it together. So we know something's off, but how do we identify what it is? There may be a lot of ways to answer that question, but my suggestion is that we can, in most if not all cases, at least start with nature. Disconnection from nature, specifically. It's kind of like, if we go back to Once Upon a Time, they were disconnected from their magic, from whatever energy current existed in their real world that wasn't here. When we disconnect ourselves from nature, when we just go sit inside and stare at screens, we're disconnected from the energy current of the natural world. It's really pretty much the same thing, which I suspect the writers of that TV show were getting at. Like, seriously, who thought it was a good idea to regulate our daily schedule to the minute and spend 95% of time indoors? Because as Americans, that's what the statistics say we do. Well, I mean, factory owners thought it was a good idea, but I don't think they should get the say. So what kind of problems come from disconnection with nature? I mean, if we look at what the research is actually telling us, it's mostly framed right now as like benefits of spending time in nature. So they're literally looking at like walking past a tree and seeing if it helps you. So they're barely scratching the surface, but the results are still amazing. You do that, you go out in a park or the woods or whatever for a few minutes, and your stress level comes down, your immunity goes up, your cortisol levels go down, sense of belonging goes up, and actually that's the one. The sense of belonging, I think, is where we start to get to the heart of the matter, because nature is where we belong, as individuals and as a culture, as a group. So once we can reestablish that connection with nature and get back to being ourselves and belonging in our true home, then we can also start to build back that sense of belonging with our other communities. You know, plants, animals, rocks, all of it, but also people. So what am I talking about when I'm saying that we need to, reestablish our connection with nature? I'm talking about an actual relationship, like a real relationship, a legit, meaningful relationship. And what does that mean? That, that's not dissimilar from trying to have a legit, meaningful relationship with a person. You have to show up. You have to spend intentional time. You have to pay attention. And you have to give something of yourself as well. You don't just take. So in the case of developing a meaningful relationship with nature, that means we're not just, viewing nature through a window like some kind of museum exhibit. We're not just power walking to the top of the mountain to see what the view is, or to, beat our friends there and be the first to the top. That's fun. You can do that. There's no problem doing that. But that's not getting to the meaningful relationship part. And it's also not scheduling our weekends just so we can spend an hour or two in nature. I'm talking about something that's daily, something that's far more intentional. Still have fun. Please do. Go for hikes. Go for a bike ride outside. Do the fun stuff, but also do the meaningful stuff. Because what it boils down to is we're homesick. We miss our kin. Not just the people, but the places, the plants, the environments. Think about a great memory from childhood, an outdoors memory. Something that you did, time that you spent, where you kind of lost yourself in it, and you paid attention to the surroundings, to the plants you were near, to the animals you were near. How did that feel? I suspect that that's one of the most real moments you've had in your life. So yeah, we're homesick, and we need to return to that home in order to rewire our nervous system. Now that's one of the benefits that we get, but it's absolutely essential. Gotta do it. Rewire our nervous system so that we can get back to being our true selves, who we really are in nature, our natural selves in nature. And the thing is, like I said, it's not always easy, but it is simple. It can be as easy as just walking outside and spending some time with the plants in your backyard, or in a park, or your houseplants, or your container garden on your balcony. There's all sorts of ways to do it. The thing that links them all is your intention. So you are intending to spend time with these natural beings. And by doing that, you're working toward building a meaningful relationship with nature. A legit relationship. And that means being present, spending time, offering something of yourself. And what happens when we do that? Well, we stop being crazy. We stop spending all our time staring at screens. We stop ignoring real life. And we start to remember where we belong and how to show up for our natural community, for our people community too, for ourselves. So yeah, we start to remember where we belong. We feel sane again. We start to live the truth that we are all in this together. The people, the trees, the rocks, the bears, all of us. The same stardust that forms us forms everybody else. And when belonging returns, things like respect and caring and kindness can return too. Now, am I saying that having a relationship with nature, a meaningful relationship with nature, can save the world? Yes. Yes, I am. And if you agree, then let's build that world together.